Good evening.
How we doing, everybody? How we doing? So,
Back.
we're back again. Sandra Sheffrere and Narnique Grant, Pierre Grant, however I got it up on there. It's somewhere.
Yes, I got to like
I think
this.
it's right there, somewhere around there. So we're back again with our weekly show. We got a few things to cover, but I want to reiterate if this is your first time or this is the first video. If you want to participate in the political process as a Black American but aren't very political, this is the show for you. If you're not really political, we try to break it down to bare bones here. We talk about all things race and races, elections, legislation, keep you all up to date, inform, and give you actionable items to do on your own to help facilitate your political participation. Okay, that's just me getting this stuff out of the way. As you know, we're from Florida, and thanks to our governor, we're always on the news. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But I'm gonna let my co-host introduce herself. I don't know if she wants to do that because we've been doing this for quite some time. But just to get in where we fit in around here.
Yep, just Sandra Sheffrere, one of the creators and co-hosts of Race and Races, all things race and politics, just like Miss Narnique said. So we got, there's things to talk about. A lot of legislation going on, so much so they got to have a special session in Florida on, I believe it starts April the 19th. But that's good because the senator elect Rosalind Osgood gets to at least participate.
That's true.
In the process because her election wasn't until like a couple of days before the session ended, and she didn't get a chance to sit during the regular session. So she'll at least get to bring her voice to Tallahassee. And then, even though this is midterm election, by this time in normal times, we would have known who all of the candidates are. People would have already been campaigning for a year or so. Absolutely. And I know the pandemic changed things up a little bit, but people are back in these streets like everything's okay. So you would think that there'd be more election stuff going on. I know there's some folks that are just having their kickoffs. Jimmy Witherspoon had his last Friday. He's running for school board seat 5, I believe it is, the seat that was vacated by Rosalind Osgood. Then we also have this Friday coming up. Gitel Ruiz is her kickoff is Friday. I think that's April the 8th, and she's going to do it at Gigi's Music Cafe. So
I love Gigi's.
I love Gigi's too. They got like this vegetarian Southern meal that is the one that comes with greens, mac and cheese, and some sweet potatoes. It is, listen, it's light, okay? And they, even though they don't serve like hard alcohol, they have like beer and wine, but they've managed to recreate certain drinks with the wines if you're into that type of stuff. So yes, I am an absolute fan of Gigi's Music Cafe. It's in Sunrise. Don't ask you for the address, but if you look it up, you'll be able to find it. So Gitel Ruiz's campaign kickoff. She's running for county commission. What seat is it? Is it like 8 or something?
It is.
I believe she's running for the seat that was previously held by Barbara Sharif. Yeah, so that's the seat she's running for. So her event is this Friday. Coming up at GZ. So I need to roll through there.
And I think another person who's running, Odd Sakat, has hers coming up too. I think it's tonight. I think her kickoff is tonight. I'm sure.
Well, I think she's running against a Gator Nation. I know I'm not supposed to be biased and all that, but
District 9 is the seat that Gitel is running for. And
she's running for 9?
Yes.
That's her number. Okay, sorry, y'all.
That's 9, District 9. And in District 8, you have 4 people, Bobby DeBose, Edison Jules, Robert McKenzie, and Odd Sakat. But we'll go through that list because we have a list of everybody who's running in Broward County. And these are just the county seats, not the local city seats. That you would have to go through to your specific city and look it up on the website and see who's running. All right. So
my city, Miramar, doesn't have any elections. We do ours on the oddiest. So okay. You gotta check. You gotta check out what's happening in your city too. They may not have elections coming up.
They may not. However, so since the governor insists on making sure that that we are on front page news every time we turn around, so he has declared war on Disney, and then it is it is what it is. He's declared war on Disney. He's I don't understand. But one victory we did get was that a judge blocked the SB 90 bill.
Was it parts of SB 90?
It was parts of the SB 90 bill. But if I understood it correctly, co-host, as we were talking, it blocked the part about the extra ballot boxes. It blocked the part about, the third party organizations picking up people's ballots and dropping them off, and the one with the water on the giving people water, food and water on when they're online.
Standing in line. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those have been blocked.
So
right?
social polls on Sundays at the church can still go on.
Can still go on. Yeah.
And you can take your grandma ballot, drop it off for her.
Basically, you can take everybody's ballot in your house.
People that live in a nursing home don't have to get out of, get put on a wheelchair and or a gurney to go to the place to drop off their ballots.
Right.
Or the bus driver at the nursing home don't have to make 100 trips because they can only have 2 ballots in their possession at any given time. That's my understanding.
It's just, it's just the level of foolery for me. And we had
he just wants to keep his name in the news. And I guess he figure any publicity is good publicity, whether it's negative or not.
I am in the mindset that I believe that that's what he believes.
Yeah.
And his crew.
I think he thinks that everybody know his name. That'll matter. That's all that matters.
So let's be clear. When he won governor, he won by only 32,000 votes?
Something like that.
Yeah. This is why you have to participate. This is why you need to go vote. Mm-hmm. Because this man won by 32,000 votes. That's it. And in the whole scheme of things of how many people voted in the state of Florida, that's
real small.
Real small. I mean, they had to do a recount.
Yeah.
Because of that. So
manual recount, I think it was too.
So, he put out the bill, the anti-voter bill here in Florida. The judges says hell to the no, you can't do that.
I think that just said hell to the nah. I think the way it was described as like a scathing decision. That judge was dropping body blows.
That judge was like, sir,
using idiot.
What are we doing? What are we doing? This is the same governor.
You're a lawyer. Then you go to Harvard.
No.
How does this make sense to you?
I don't know what he paid to go. He paid and got his.
Maybe that was a legacy admission or something like that. I don't know
what that was, because you ain't learn. I mean, just look at his press conferences. The man just whatever. I guess that judge says, look here. Oh hell no, not today, sir. Not today. So far, everything is blocked, which means everything remains the same. Is that right, co-host?
That's my understanding. But we probably should get Ruby Green up here. She's a member of League of Women Voters, and she could probably explain it to us a lot better. Because I believe it's the lawsuit that they filed that got the judge to issue this decision.
It was the League of Women Voters. It was a group of organizations that filed the law.
But I think. Yeah, but I remember when I saw of it, for some reason, League of Women Voters name was what I saw more than anything else. So maybe other ones filed briefs in support of the position that they took. So we'll get somebody from there to come and talk.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to get somebody else. So listen.
Yes, ma'am.
That being passed and all that, what happens to the governor's created police force he was getting for voting for voting people? Is he still gonna create that since all his stuff has been blocked?
But even if it's blocked now, he has the right to file an appeal. So some other person could, another judge or the 11th Circuit could be like, okay, we're going to reinstate what, we think that judge was wrong. So there's still a lot,
I guess.
wrangling going on.
All right. So Oklahoma, what y'all doing over there in Oklahoma? What?
I think Oklahoma has I'm not too surprised by anything Oklahoma does. I shouldn't say anything about some of the things Oklahoma does. Because they're like, they probably put more people to death next to Texas. So it ain't, they're known to do things that most people be like, ooh, why you live in Oklahoma now? That's what Tulsa's in Oklahoma. They went and burnt down the whole, we can't be surprised by what they doing over there. I mean, they're the one that, got jealous and burnt down a whole town of Black people that were progressing. So Oklahoma gonna just do Oklahoma type stuff.
So let me tell you what Oklahoma did. So Oklahoma passed.
In the middle of COVID, they allowed the former president to have a whole rally. I mean, but remember that, but that one kind of got messed up because that's one where the kids on TikTok fake ordered tickets, and then he got mad and he was about to get rid of TikTok. so at least the kids on TikTok saved Oklahoma from themselves. But I also believe that's when Herman Cain caught that COVID that he did not recover from. So.
Not only did he not recover, he's no longer here.
Yeah, he did.
That's the unfortunate part of it. So this is what Oklahoma did, people. We talking about Oklahoma. We ain't tell you.
So they did something else. Okay, so I'm just giving some background on the things. We just give some background on the kind of things Oklahoma does. So all right.
So Oklahoma decided to pass the most restrictive abortion ban that begins at conception. And what that means is that they will punish people as felons, and you get 10-year prison term. Okay, there was no notice given.
Is it people meaning doctors?
Everybody.
Okay.
There was no notice given, and there was no debate in the legislature in Oklahoma for this, and it just passed. It just passed.
Apparently, they figured they could get away with that. But Oklahoma did do something pretty progressive because I think they just elected their first Muslim. I think she might be part of the LGBTQIA community, and she's Muslim legislator. Yeah,
that's interesting.
2020, yeah. So they
what
they were moving forward in some directions, and then just kind of back.
What district she represents?
Say what?
The question becomes what district she represents.
I can look it up, but I'm almost certain that was in Oklahoma where that young lady won. So sometimes they do that. They make it seem like, oh, see, look what we just did, and then you be thinking like, oh, Oklahoma doing it, and then they go do something like they did today. So
Oklahoma.
We're taking some L's.
I don't understand Oklahoma. What do we have to do for you to be like, yeah,
people gotta pay attention to who's running and make sure they don't vote for folks. They gotta figure out what people's records are and what they're really about, and don't just not think your vote don't matter, because then you end up with people that pass these types of legislations.
I guess my question would be, why at conception? Why?
That means you can't never get one. That's all. That's why. Because some of the places are saying 6 weeks, and most of the time, most women probably don't even know they're pregnant at 6 weeks. Anyway, most people find out when they're like 8 weeks or so. So they just like, listen, if you just so happen to find out early, you just can't do it.
I don't understand. But okay, Oklahoma, we got our eyes on you. Okay, we watching. And we're gonna see if any lawsuits come out of there. Oh, Coho said lawsuits are coming.
Oh no, lawsuits are coming.
All right, so Ketanji Brown Jackson.
So her name is Mauree, Mauree Turner. And she's from Oklahoma City. She was elected in 2020. She was elected to the Oklahoma State Legislature. She became the first non-binary state lawmaker in the country. So,
okay, hold on. Wait.
So I might have misidentified her. So she's considered non-binary.
So you gonna use the word she?
Well, what I was supposed to say, they?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm learning. I'm still learning. I don't know.
I think that's how they.
I'm assuming it's they, right?
I'm looking the way the article. Oh, they just referred to her by her name. They didn't do gender.
Okay.
So, all right, my apologies. So, yeah, they didn't identify. They didn't do gender. They just kept referring to her as Turner. All right. So Turner became the first non-binary state legislator in the country, and she was definitely the first one in Oklahoma.
Okay, well, that's pretty progressive.
So she yeah, so she's there for queer, working class, people of color.
Okay.
That's it. So I'm sorry about the gender. They just refer to her. They just refer to Turner as Turner's name.
Very good. Very good. All right, great. So 22. Well, I mean, that's somewhat progressive. We'll see. All right. So our woman of excellence, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. Is it Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson?
It is.
So we're almost at the final end of her getting her.
I think they're supposed to do full vote on Friday, maybe, because they did the committee one on Monday.
Yes, they did. So I'm like super excited. However, I'm a little bit confused.
By whom?
I'm just confused with the Republicans. You know, there's a clip of a few of them talking and have raving reviews, and then says, "But I can't give you my vote today."
What Republican gave her a raving review? What they said?
I
don't know if it was no raving review. I mean, they just can't say the lady ain't smart and the lady ain't qualified. So that part they can't. I mean, there's no basis for that. And I shouldn't say basis. There's no wiggle room with whether or not, from an academic standpoint, she's qualified. From her professional work record, she's qualified. So they don't have no wiggle room on that one. So they have to acknowledge that. So I can't say what they said is glowing. So where they do have space to kind of try to make it seem is something when it's really nothing is on the cases that deals with how she does sentencing. I mean, most judges has made a sentencing decision that people could probably question and scrutinize. So that part, I mean, that's all they had. And so that's what they went with. Right. And then, you know, even some of the questions that they were trying to get her to answer, like, what's a woman? You know, and they were trying to like, it's simple. What's a woman? But it wasn't simple because they couldn't say it either, particularly in the space that we're in right now. So, and it was like, well, that wasn't that wasn't a setup, or that wasn't a trick question, or that wasn't. It absolutely was. Because that issue is absolutely going to go in front of the court, particularly when you're talking about transgender athlete, and it's mainly male to female transgender athletes that are trying to compete in female sports. That issue is going in front of the court. Like I just can't see how it doesn't, because people are still having issues with it. I mean, there are cases like every day you hear something. It might have been Oklahoma too that just signed something to say that transgender male cannot participate in female sports. If it wasn't them, it was some state that just did that, like within like today or yesterday. They're like, no, they have an absolute ban on transgender male to female athletes participating in female sports. So that issue is going to come in front of the court. So I understand why she didn't want to describe what a female is, because they're going to have people coming in there saying different things about what makes a woman a woman. So
I just, you know, and it's not just that questions about critical race theory, questions about if a child is racist, questions. It was just, to me, it was almost like watching one of those sitcoms and they're like purposely doing foolishness to get like laughter, because it was just ludicrous.
I mean, Ted Cruz made Candy's book a bestseller, so you know, he just put some coins in that brother's pocket. So I know he was like, "Thank you."
Real. I mean, it was on a wait list. That's how bad it was.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was trying to get that book for their kids. So he was like, "Thank you, Ted Cruz. Make me send me my checks."
It's the way they went about doing it, and the fact that she was able to be so, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for.
She ain't cuss him out. That's what you want to say.
Yes.
He didn't do a Kavanaugh, because remember in Kavanaugh's hearing when they started bothering him, that dude came back out like talking mad, crazy, loud, just being all straight up disrespectful to folks. They don't talk about that part. I mean, came out like yelling with the angry face and all of that. Like she managed not to do that.
And screaming and all that.
I mean, I was like, oh, this is what we doing now, bro. So he came out there just talking mad crazy to people, right? And she managed not to do that, because had she done that, that would have been like, it would have been a rap. They'd have angry black woman, whatever they would have, whatever labels they would have threw on her. But Kavanaugh was able to go in there and just be like super disrespectful, loud talking, yelling at people. I'm like, ooh, okay.
Well,
you do that, huh?
Listen, I just.
But her face, you know, like, well, I mean, maybe the other people didn't understand the facial expressions,
but all black women did.
We understood. She ain't had to say nothing. Like she ain't need no word, ain't no words need to come out of her mouth. Those facial expressions were well understood.
And her pauses and her we understood like, it. We were exhausted ourselves.
She was over there doing like this. She was doing her yoga moves like.
And the way she folded her hands, and it was like
turned to the left. She dropped the glasses a few times. That one got me. At one point, I'm convinced I heard her suck her teeth. I'm convinced I heard her suck her teeth, and she probably didn't realize she did it. I'm like, yo, that lady went, and then started talking.
I know you're right. I'd have sucked my teeth.
And right.
Well, listen, I would have rolled my eyes. I'd have been like. And I know I probably if
she didn't roll her eyes, but she did kind of, I think she blinked once or twice.
No, she glared at Ted Cruz after that thing, and then the other Democrat came and was basically kind of defunking what he was saying. She turned and she did this here. She didn't roll her eyes. Yeah. She was like, and I said, "Man,
she didn't do no neck rolls, but she did tilt her head a couple times. She was like." We understood all of it. You ain't need to say nothing, Mama. We understood.
Every facial expression,
I was here for
posture, every respectful answer. We all felt it. We were like,
and all of the one where she folded her hands, and every now and then she would move the fingers. She just held them hands. She probably had like a death grip on there, right? The fingers was probably numb.
She probably like this, and she was moving her fingers.
Thank you for that question.
Girl.
Yes, ma'am.
I was exhausted for her. You hear me?
I was tired for her.
When the first day happened, Sandra called. She was like, did you see what that fool asked her and how she was looking? I was like, ma'am, I don't.
It was a couple of fools. So which ones you was talking about? Blackburn, Cruz, Lindsey Graham,
Blackburn. She has
Mike Lee,
some nerve. She has
Kennedy from Louisiana. It was a whole bunch of them.
Howley is the one that
Howley.
That's the one that irritates.
He's for sure. He's like.
I'd ask Miss.
I just hope he don't. I hope he just could stay scandal free, because the way he talk. Boy, you better be living right.
You better. That's
make all I can say. Like, homie,
you better not live in glass
right,
house,
bruh.
As bad as you are. So let me share my screen so you can see what they said. I'm pretty sure the video that was made was cut and edited, but we all get the gist. So I'm gonna share my screen and then try to remember how to do this. Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna get like a montage of certain things that were happening. Is that what we're looking for?
We're gonna get a montage. Correct. We're gonna get a montage of them.
Okay, that's Corin right there. We don't have the sound. You're gonna get some sound with that.
Let me see if I thought. Oh no, sound is on. I'll start.
I will vote no. Okay. Judge Jackson has a marvelous legal education. She has a vast practical experience, something I think is a real plus. I will vote no.
I can say definitively that I like her. I think she's a good person, but I cannot support her.
She seems like a wonderful human being. She comes with some impressive qualifications academically and professionally. I will vote no.
And indeed, she has a very impressive resume. I'm certainly going to vote no.
I mean, she's the realization of an American dream. So I will not be supporting her nomination.
I enjoyed the opportunity to meet her family. They obviously are and should be proud of her achievements. I can't support her nomination.
Very gifted person. She's fought hard to be where she's at in life. I'll vote no. I'm the first time I've ever voted against any Supreme Court nominee.
Judge Jackson has a marvelous.
Yeah, that like I didn't even see that video, and I knew that they could not question her academic or professional experience, so that's why they were resorting to what it is that they resorted to. And and that is just a clip and it's edited because they said some other things in the meantime, in between, and then they kind of just went to the end. But yeah, they can't question her credentials. So,
and I think the reason why the video was edited that way is because clearly they're supposed to vote based on qualifications, credentials, and tenure and what she's done in her career. That is what your vote is supposed to be based on. And I believe that's why I think this is Roland Martin's video. I think that's why the video was edited that way, because they in fact confirmed that she was qualified.
Yep.
And she can do this job.
Absolutely.
But then they voted no.
Yep.
Just so y'all know.
Yeah. I mean, and one of the things that Corn was talking about is like, oh, we shouldn't have 5 people making decisions about the entire United States. I'm like, but homie, that's always been the case. So why you got a problem with it now? That's always been the case.
Why you got a problem with it when it's a Black woman?
I just want to know why he got a problem with it now. That's all I'm saying, because that's always been the case. That's how it's been since the court's been in existence. So I don't know why all of a sudden you scared that it's like 5 people that's going to be making decisions for the rest of the country. That's always been the case. It's stunning. It's stunning. It's stunning.
And to be quite honest, like to me it's like and then you correct me if I'm wrong, co-host. I was under the impression that the Supreme Court justices, nominees, and appointees were above and beyond reproach of the two-party system. That they were supposed to be
nonpartisan. It's about the law. It's all about the law.
That's what I understood it to be. So when there is another clip out with Lindsey Graham, I think his name is the one that was on there.
He's from South Carolina, so I don't know.
There's another one with him talking about, you know, when we had a conservative Black female judge, you didn't want her, this, that, the other, and whatever, instead you want to bring a liberal judge and whatever. And I was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. I thought that the Supreme Court was above all of that.
But even when they tell me that, but that lady, he not telling the whole story about that particular judge, right? But because she there was some concerns about some of her lower court decisions where she would allow her feelings about particular issues to influence her decision. There were several examples of her doing that. So besides the fact that she was a conservative, there were concerns because there were some rulings that she made that they were like, wait, how you got there? And even when she explained it, she basically suggested that she allowed some of her personal opinions to go into her decision. So there was like some legitimate concerns about her. And she was like, I mean, when you talk about conservative, she was extremely conservative to the point where she was rigid. She was rigid in her decision. So it's not a true comparison. Mm-hmm. It's not a true comparison.
Well, you know, they will do what they need to do
because even with Judge Brown Jackson, she's made some decisions that they won't talk about, right? Because they try to make it seem as though she's extremely liberal.
She's soft on crime.
And so I'm going to talk about the liberal part of it, right? Because that's the example I'm going to give is going to focus more on that.
Okay.
So I think there was a case where these Black workers were working for a company, and they basically said that the company was discriminating against and not allowing them to get promoted or something like that because of work. But they were bringing a discrimination case based on practices at this particular company, and the company pretty much acknowledged that there was a problem and they were going to fix it, right? But the Black employees wanted to certify themselves as a class, and she wouldn't let, she said no. She actually voted against the class, right? She gave her reasoning and everything like that, but she voted against the class. So the Republicans don't want to talk about that because that will totally go against the fact that she's extremely liberal, right? And then the Democrats don't really want to talk about that because they don't want people to know that she did that, because then they're gonna be like, oh, she probably ain't as cool as we thought she was. Because if you know a group of Black employees were trying to get certified as a class because there was a problem happening at their job, and even the company acknowledged it, and there was room for her to do that in favor of those Black employees, they will be like, yo, judge, go ahead and do that, because then people was willing to put out those coins because they know they did something wrong. And she said, no, we can't make, I think she was like, you couldn't certify the class because it was just too broad in general. Just like there was a group of women that was trying to sue Walmart because they were capped at upper management, and that court wouldn't allow the women to be certified as a class. So she's done stuff that you can't think that she always gonna do some stuff with Black people just because she can. Because that was one of those instances. If she really was gonna let her like, oh, I'm a look out, I'm gonna be super liberal, she would have allowed that class to happen, and she didn't. So again, right. Republicans don't want to talk about that because that goes against the arguments that they're making about her, and then Democrats don't kind of want too many people to know that she actually did that too. So,
well, and then that's where, and I think that's what bothers me most about the two-party system is because I clearly understood her not allowing that to be a class as more of her following the rule of law.
Following the rule of law.
Rather than her doing something that's liberal and or conservative, right? And so
because it might have been the right thing to do, but the law didn't have space for it. So she didn't do it.
Absolutely. And to me, it's like you want someone that's just going to follow the law. Now, in order for laws to be different and change, that's where legislation comes in, right?
Well, some of it could be legislation, and sometimes interpretations can change, but a lot of time it is based on legislation and current, what's happening and all those kind of stuff. Sometimes it's precedent, or sometimes there's some laws that are really just out of date. And one of the things that they're talking that she keeps getting hit on is particularly when they're talking about sentencing, is that how she's saying, listen, you can't sentence based on the number of images nowadays, based on a law that was really written in 1984 that doesn't account for how people could end up in possession of so many images to sentence. Absolutely. So she can't change the law, but she does have because the essence of the law was to basically punish the person based on the fact that they're based on the entire record showing that the person is really about this child pornography life. That's how you decide, because the more images they had meant that they consistently went out in search of to obtain these images, since at that time you would have to get them in the mail. But nowadays you could be in possession of 1 million images and you sat and click your computer twice, right? So it's a different scenario than, so that doesn't mean because a person has a significant number of images, it could have been like they went on the side like, oh Lord, you know what I mean? And then by the time they get a handle of it, try to get rid, realize where they are, that they're in this sauce, is difficult to get out. So you don't want to punish that person the same way as somebody who's truly about, engaging in child and child pornography. So
and that's where it was like difficult to watch while she was going through these things, is because when she repeatedly said, listen, Congress passes the laws, I do my best to interpret them and then follow the rule of law. It bothers me because the majority of those senators have been attorneys, went to law school, understand the law, in my opinion. But then you're asking someone who's basically, y'all went to law school together, and you asking her something that you wouldn't be able to answer anyway.
No, they could answer it. They just don't want to accept the answer. So what was on display? They know better. They understand it. What was on display when I was watching it as a fellow attorney, I was like, see, that's why lawyers get a bad name, right? Because they was out there engaging in some straight shenanigans, right? I'm like, dude, you know what this is, right? You doing like a play on words, like even the way they were asking a question, they were a play on words, and some of the things they were doing. Like, if you are a person who understood the process and who understand what was happening, you was like, oh my God, they think people who aren't lawyers are stupid. That's absolutely what they were doing. They think people who aren't lawyers are stupid because they know that they don't fully understand what's going on. But it was so it was extremely disrespectful, disingenuous, and it was giving the profession a bad name. It really was giving the profession a bad name. I'm like, y'all know what this is. Y'all out here just making like some misrepresentations that for me really questions the person's candor, right? Because they know, because it's, I mean, in the law, I'm gonna say in the law, omission is allowed in the law, right? Like, if you're in court, you can omit information as long as the things that you're saying are facts. It's allowed, right? In regular life, real world, people would omission is seen as lying, particularly if your intention is to deceive, right? So in real life, regular life, not in the courtroom, omission is considered lying if your intention is to deceive. When you omit that information, if your intention is to deceive, it's considered lying. That's a definition of lying if you look it up in a dictionary, right? But in the law, in the courtroom, in a place like that, you are allowed to omit information, particularly if it's not favorable to you. So from a legal standpoint, them omitting information that may have been that's favorable to Ketanji Brown Jackson, it's allowed, but I don't know if that was necessarily the place for that,
I agree. No, I totally
and they did that because they know that, I hate to say they know, but a lot of people just don't understand. And they were basically pandering to their base. That was not about making that the most respectable and best process. That was literally about pandering for their base of people who they thought was watching. And that's unfortunate. That's absolutely unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Judge Jackson, and it's also unfortunate for their constituents, because if that's what you're trying,
and it's unfortunate for Americans who understand what was happening. It's unfortunate. It was disgraceful in some places.
Constituents who rely on and who vote in elected officials to be there on their behalf, but instead of doing what's right for the people, they come in and they pander something else and being disingenuous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is unfortunate for the
very unfortunate.
And talking about the Supreme Court, while everybody's still on Will and Jada and Chris Rock, and I'm gonna be honest, like, his wife.
They still on Will and Jada because there's a video circulating of some tennis players, like some young tennis players, and one of them he slapped the other one. And maybe tennis players used to be slapping folks before Will slapped Chris Rock, and they just wasn't making it public. And since that slap, now they're gonna start showing us all the slap videos that's out here in these internet streets, right? That might be what happened. Or that can be he basically gave certain folks a license to engage in that conduct. And that's why when you have high profile people doing things, it could be extremely dangerous. Mm-hmm. It's extremely dangerous. So I don't know if they were already slapping people out on them tennis courts like that, and we just ain't know about it, or that slap gave other folks license to think that that's a way that they can handle a situation if they don't like it.
The unfortunate part for Will Smith is his wife came out and said,
what she said?
She said, I don't agree with him slapping him like that. And I'm not a wallflower. I can take care of myself. I don't need nobody defending me.
That's what she came out and said?
That's what she was reported saying at I forgot the name of the article, but it was circulating that she's not mad at him, but she's not happy that he did it, that he should.
Okay, listen, I stand by what I said last week. It's time for him to go.
Hold on, wait a minute.
No. He need to leave.
Wait a minute.
No.
All I'm saying is she came out and she said she doesn't need nobody defending her. She could defend herself.
Whatever. She ain't tried to stop him either when he was defending her. No. Yeah. It's time
there is a video circulating where it shows the back part of Jada while this was going on, and at no point did Mrs. Smith reach out to her husband, tell her husband, please don't do that. Or when he sat back down and he was still cussing him out, she didn't say, hey, babe, that's enough. You already put your hands on him. She didn't do any of those things. And to me, I don't know if it was because she was embarrassed and nervous at the time, and she was basically like, stuck with fear or stuck with embarrassment. I don't know. But for me, my husband, I always, if there's like tension going up, I'm always be the one. Wait, let's just wait a minute. Let's calm down. Let's figure this out. I would not have allowed him to be that aggressive on a world stage. There's no way. With
like
that
I said, homie, she don't love you, bruh. She don't love you, bruh. She wants out. Let her out. Just let her go. Let her go. It's time because if for in a week, that's all that woman could come with, basically throwing that man back under the bus again. Lady girl, bye. No. After a week, you had time to think about this and reflect. This is what you say. I hope it's because she realized that he about to dip and leave her. So now she get mad, and so that's what she's doing. But yeah, please, sir,
if you
not gonna win with her, she don't love you, and she ain't gonna never love you. I need you to understand that.
Mrs. Smith, if this indeed was your statement,
and that's all you got after a week. Your publicist let you say that, and let me tell you something. If that's what they let her say, she probably wanted to say something worse. If that's what ended up coming out, if that's what they settled on, what she probably was gonna say was what was worse than that.
Well, I have to be a little bit like I'm thinking along the lines with you too, because I said to myself when I saw it was all over social media and it was based on this, I can't remember the name of the magazine, but allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't know if this is what she exactly said, but it was just a lot of social media platforms confirming this is what she said. But if that's what you said, and not I'm sorry to Chris Rock and his family for my husband's behavior, number one. Number two, like if that's what you said,
I'm sorry to my husband for making him feel that he needed to do that to protect me. That's how that should have came out. She need to apologize to her husband too.
I agree.
And if she didn't do that, girl, no, sir, please.
When I saw that, I said,
she ain't gonna never love you because she don't love you now and she ain't love you before.
When that comment came out, I said, "Oh my goodness, is that what she said?"
After a week, that's what you got, lady? Oh my God, I can't.
So, but I digress. So the Jada and Willa people, Jada and Will Smith shouldn't be the couple you be concerned about. The couple you need to be concerned about.
Concerned about?
Yes, the couple you need to be concerned about, like fully concerned, fully vested, fully in
Jenny and Clarence.
Jenny and Clarence Thomas.
Jenny and Clarence.
That's who you need to be concerned about. Can't be concerned about Jada and Willa.
Jenny out here a whole problem. And Clarence is one of those 5 people that Quarantine was worried about making decisions about the whole United States of America. So Clarence can be part of that 5. So yeah.
So
about him.
So you all need to understand that Jenny
running things. Jenny over there telling Clarence what to do, even though Clarence know he ain't got no business doing none of that. Clarence out here listening to Jenny, knowing he should not. So I don't know what these brothers got going on out here listening to these women that's setting them up.
Jenny is Jenny. I think people don't understand how radical Jenny is.
Not radical on the left side, extremely conservative. Like you would be shocked that she's actually married to a black guy on the left. Like you be like, "Ooh, that lady got a black husband for real?"
The level of the level that she's in, like in terms of where she's at in the corporations and organizations and all that other stuff, and what she believes. She's one of those.
She got a whole black husband.
She's one of those that believe
black relatives.
She's one of those that believe that the president that the number 45 won. Okay, she's one of those. She believes wholeheartedly that he won, and that we're sitting here for 2 years with a president that's illegitimate. I'm not even like it's not even a joke. This is not a joke. This is I'm serious. This is what she believes. She believes that Biden is an illegitimate president, that Trump is the president, and that because her hands are tied, we have to suffer with an illegitimate president. I don't know how you are able to be an illegitimate president and still run the country. But I'm gonna digress from that. But this is the person who is married to a Supreme Court justice, and there are cases coming up that has to do with the January 6th insurrection. that he already made clear. Clarence said he is not recusing himself. Okay.
And Jenny a whole lawyer too. I don't know what these lawyers got going on. That's why we got bad names.
Ma'am, I need somebody who is deep down, knows what the procedures are to make me help me to understand how is it that Clarence Thomas is still on the Supreme Court when you have your wife pulled her text messages and her phone records, and she basically texted at the time the chief of staff of the former president about the election. How is that okay?
Election and the election.
How is that okay?
She was. I think she was supporting those people who said that they got to get to Pence so he don't certify that election. Maybe she was cool with Trump getting those 11,000 votes that he was asking the Secretary of State to fight for him.
Ma'am,
I mean, even if the man got those votes in Georgia, he still was not going to be president because he needed some more states. But I don't know why they don't seem to understand.
She's the same woman that believes that there was bamboo in the
she bamboo in the paper. That was the Arizona recount.
So she's part of that group.
I don't know. She I didn't hear her say that they were looking for bamboo in the paper, but she might have been supporting the bamboo in the paper people.
I'm just saying
that was hilarious.
Well, y'all all out here focusing on Jada and Will Smith. You have Clarence Thomas and
you got Jenny over here
out here wrecking stuff all over the
problems.
Okay, and mind you, the Supreme Court will be hearing a case in terms of the insurrection. How is that okay? Listen, people, listen, Black people, don't let all this stuff distract you. Don't be dumbed down and docile now. All right, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have money up the wazoo. They can take care of themselves. But that Clarence Thomas and that Jeannie Thomas.
Yep, she's the head of the Heritage Foundation. Y'all need to go ahead and check that out. That lady's a problem.
She said Biden is an illegitimate president. And her husband's on the Supreme Court making decisions for the entire country, not just certain states. These are the people you need to be paying attention to. They out here wreaking havoc, and we over here talking about Will and Jada Smith and Chris Rock when them people behind closed doors making their own arrangements and talking to each other. People, look it up, honey. Jeannie or Jeannie?
Her name is Virginia Thomas, but she goes by Jenny, Ginni.
Okay, Jeannie Thomas and Clarence Thomas. Y'all better look them up. Okay, send emails, smoke screens, phone calls, text messages to the people that you have elected and put into office, and let them know that you demand that some sort of impeachment process starts for Clarence Thomas. This is unacceptable.
And I think the Republicans, they don't want to do it now because they don't want Biden to put somebody forward that they may not want to support, and that will make it anyways. So, but if they take over the Senate in November, they'll probably put pressure on him to leave too.
All I know is while we're sitting here looking at celebrities, we have real issues, real problems in our government.
That's affecting our life for real. Yeah, we got to worry about them 5 that's making decisions about people.
There are several cases that are going to be coming up to the Supreme Court that affects us directly, and we out here worrying about celebrities. No.
But the stuff that celebrities do have effect on regular people too. Again, I don't know if that's why that boy in that tennis court slapped that other one, but they out here doing stuff that people don't need to imitate. That's why some ladies think they can wear sequins on a Tuesday because they be watching celebrities. So some of these things celebrities do, it be kind of affecting people. You know, when you see them wearing sequins on a Tuesday, it's like,
no bueno.
You're not on stage, mama.
No bueno.
I say you can't wear sequins, but I don't know if you should have it on a Tuesday unless you like 5 and it's on your children's play shirt as a unicorn or something.
So listen, we're gonna wrap up a little bit, but I need to remind everybody, especially now, since the housing market, since our governor's not really doing his job in terms of trying to help with the rising rental amount, the rent going up, high the inflation and all that other stuff. They are still providing money for landlords and tenants because of the, during the pandemic, people wasn't able to work, they weren't able to pay their rent. So there is a website.
You have been paying for mortgages too, or just rent?
I don't know. That's a good question. I can look that up and bring.
Yeah, we need to find out because some people might need mortgage assistance.
Yes, they would. Yes. So this program is called Our Florida. It's up to 15 months of rental assistance available. It's www.myflorida.com. The Department of Children and Families is overseeing this program. You can be a tenant and or a landlord and still apply to get funds. There was about $1 billion into that for just the state of Florida. I'm not sure where they at in terms of distribution, but I know that this program is still going on. So I behoove you all to run over there if you're having, especially now with the rent doubling up and all that other stuff. So see if they can help. If at all they can help. I mean, if they have money in reserves, hopefully that the Florida legislators had made some sort of concession, especially to incorporate this inflation we're having. So, what the worst you can say is, the worst they can tell you is no, that they're not doing that. But it's always good to go ahead and find out if that they can assist you in some kind of way. Black excellence this week. Woo, child. Dawn Staley.
Yes.
Dawn Staley has become the first Black coach, man or woman, okay? But the first Black coach to win two Division I NCAA tournaments.
Yep, she's a coach at the University of South Carolina, women's basketball.
Kudos to you, Miss Staley.
And they were also talking about her because of her jacket. She had on a Louis Vuitton Letterman jacket.
And I love it.
And she coached the game with her Louis Vuitton kicks. Yes. And people were like, "You're on such a big stage and you're not dressed up."
No,
I guess she dressed for the culture that day.
She looked flawless. Excuse you very much.
They were hating on her for her wardrobe.
Why? But she brought them 2 championships, didn't she?
She sure did.
Okay, so that doesn't affect her ability to coach. Stop the madness. Stop hating on. Don't be no hater. Be a congratulator. Okay.
Yeah.
We want to give kudos, Dawn Staley, for bringing in. You're the first NCAA tournament, bringing them back to back. Congratulations.
It wasn't back to back. She won in 2017 and again in 2022. She won in 17. Then they had 2 years of pandemic, so there was no 20, that kind of stuff. But yes, it's I
feel like it's back to back because of the pandemic. But I'm giving her nothing but kudos. She is Black.
Well, I think they did play in the pandemic, but it was a different way. They had the playoffs. It was a little different. They didn't do it the same amount of games because of the COVID protocol and all that kind of stuff. Right. So she won in 17 and then she won again in 22.
Congratulations, ma'am.
And she getting paid. I think she might be one of the highest paid
as she should
coaches or maybe female coaches for sure, and probably one of the higher paid coaches in college basketball.
She should.
Make your point.
Congratulations, ma'am. Congratulations. Yes. Black excellence all up and through here. Black excellence.
Yes.
All right. Book of the week. The book of the week is going
we about to give Kendi some more props.
Girl, let me tell you something. Kendi,
if you could get it, this the book.
If you can get it,
if you can get it,
available. Okay,
if it's available.
Because apparently, Kendi just
put you on the wait list.
Cruz and his foolery.
They sold it all over the place. You might be able to resell it on eBay or something for more than it's worth.
So Kendi has a book called "How to Be Anti-Racist" by, how you pronounce his first name, co-host? Ibram. Ibram Kendi.
Ex-Kendi.
Ex-Kendi.
And he chose his last name. So that's not his birth last name. He chose his last name.
But that's the name on the book.
Yeah, that's the name on the book, and it's a chosen name.
He has a series of a whole bunch of books. But this is the one that caught my attention and that I ordered to read. And
is it the children's version or that's the adult version?
The adult version.
Adult version, okay.
That's the adult version. So listen, kudos to Kendi. And go cop that book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. We're going to give him all the support, honey.
I believe they have an Audible. I think it's on audible.com. So I think you can get it because I believe that's how I read the book.
Okay.
So yeah, if you have Audible, you got any credits, you can get it that way.
We're gonna hype him up over here too. Kendi is now, thanks to Ted Cruz, and he thought Ted Cruz thought you was doing something. You thought you was doing something, boo? Did you feel like you was gonna make somebody be like? Listen, if it wasn't for you, Amazon ran out of supplies because of you. Okay, all right.
And also Ted Cruz also found out that day that his kids also go to a school that believe in racial diversity. No, what kind? There's some kind of school, whatever that Georgetown Day School is. His kids go to the same type of school. That book might be on their reading list. I think that book is probably on their reading list too.
Well, and what say you about that, Senator Cruz? What say you?
He don't know what his kids are up to. That's what he just told everybody. You know what kind of school they go to. He probably don't know the name of their teachers. Don't know what grade they in or nothing.
Nothing.
But he blaming them for going to Mexico.
Whatever. Okay. Get out of here.
You don't know what kind of school
you're going to. I'm gonna run through these names. So we have.
I have to tell you that. So for all the rattlers there, Kendi is a FAMU graduate.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Well.
He's a FAMU graduate.
I wonder if all the books that were ordered were from people in Florida.
All the rattlers probably ordered the books too.
So listen, guys, before we go, I want to give you a quick rundown of who's running in Broward County, on a county level, not the individual cities, because I reached out to Joe Scott, our supervisor of election, and he stated that he only has county-wide, not countywide, but county electorates, not the city ones. The city ones will be on the city website. So there are a few people running in different cities that we are aware of. I'm going to look up the websites of those cities, get you those names of who are running, and we'll do that list next week. So for candidates in District 2 for County Commissioner, you have the incumbent, which is Mark Bogan. So far, he does not have anybody running against him. I think someone should. We are proponents of not having anyone running unopposed. So
not a noun person. If we like them, nope. You need some competition.
You do. If you're in District 2, you might want to give Mr. Bogan a run.
I mean, some people be moving to go run for office, so maybe they can move over there too. That's because what you just gotta have that address right before filing deadline or something.
Absolutely. District 4, Lamar Fisher is the incumbent, and he has no one running against him. So that we need to make sure that we put it out there. Somebody go out in the District 4 and District 2.
Is Lamar? Who's the mayor now? Which one of them is the mayor? Is it Lamar Fisher that's the mayor of the county commission?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
No, isn't it like the one? I thought it was the one from Parkland.
It could be. I don't know.
I don't know. So all right. So District 6. District 6. The incumbents. Beam Fur, I hope I'm saying it correctly, has 2 Oh no, he has way more than 2 challenges.
Is that Davis? Davis is one of them?
No, she withdrew.
She did?
She did. So here are the people who are running for District 6. You have D'Amica Lachey Davis. We're going to reach out to her.
But that's the one who you said withdrew. Oh, you thought I was talking about Alexandra Davis. No, I'm talking about D'Amica Davis.
No, she's still here.
Okay. So yeah, okay.
So D'Amica Lachelle, Davis, Jeffrey Jones, Bobby DeBose, Edison Jules, Robert McKenzie.
Bobby is running for District 2. No,
that's I'm sorry.
No, that's not the seat he's running for.
District 8, sorry. So the only 2 people who are running against the incumbent in District 6, my apologies, is Jeffrey Jones and D'Amica Lachelle Davis. So he has 2 people running against him, which is
D'Amica's on like Clubhouse real strong. So if you got she has like a couple rooms on Clubhouse. If y'all have that app, it's for iPhone users only. I'm just saying.
No, they brought in
they brought in the other ones too. Oh, okay, all right. So Android folks, y'all could
everybody can join
in the Clubhouse too. So
all right, so jump on there and we're gonna reach out to her and see if she'll come on in. And I think we'll try to reach out to Jeffrey Jones as well. And Mr. Fur. District 8 is a popular district because it's hot. Child, you have Bobby DeBose, you have Edison Nation, you have Robert McKenzie, and you have Odd Sakad.
So I missed the second one because I was talking. So can you say the name of the second person again so they don't say I'm trying to cover it up?
Edison Jules. Robert McKenzie, and Oz Akkad.
All right. I think Edison's run for a bunch of stuff before too.
He has. I've seen that name quite a few times.
Yes.
In previous years as well. District
Maybe
9.
different counties too.
Yes.
That's good.
I'm just saying. District 9, you have Hazel Rogers, who is the current mayor of Lauderdale.
Is it Lauderdale Lakes or Lauderhill?
Lauderdale Lakes.
Lauderdale Lakes, okay.
Lauderdale. And then you have Gitel Ruiz Nicholas, the one we talked about, who's having her kickoff the 7th, correct?
No, Friday the 8th at Gigi Music's Cafe.
Music Cafe, yes.
Is it between like 6 and 8 or 4 and 6? It's something like that. Let me double check.
All right. As co-host double checks, I'm going to mention, so we have judges up for election, which is very important, which is, and there's a whole bunch of them, but it's important that we say their names and you guys find a way.
Detail is Friday, April the 8th between 6 and 8 at Gigi's Music Cafe. The address for that place is 4385 Northwest 88th Avenue in Sunrise.
All right.
We'll post it to the page.
So we are aware of City of Fort Lauderdale. Bobby DeBose's wife is running for City Commission in Fort Lauderdale, correct?
In Fort Lauderdale, yes.
Fort Lauderdale, yes. So we would have to go to the Fort Lauderdale website to get the information, but she is also running. So there's two DeBose will be on ballots coming in August. All right. So judges, group 1. I don't know what that means about the group 1 or how they separate the judges. Co-host may know more than I do.
Is it county or circuit? That's county. Usually what people pay most attention to is like a county court judge versus circuit court.
County.
Okay.
County.
Okay.
So group 1, you have John D. Fry. Group 2, none of these judges are running.
They're all running unopposed?
Unopposed.
Okay.
All of them are running unopposed. And so we need some attorneys out here who've been working and been in the system and knows how it works. And put your feet out there, stick your neck out there. Judge D. Fry is for group 1. Cal LaVar Colby Evans is group 2. Florence Taylor Barner is group 3.
She's running for re-election.
Oh,
that has to be that she's running for re-election because she's already currently sitting on the bench, and Florence, I believe, is Haitian. She's okay. Haitian.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right. Daniel J. Canner is running for group 4. Group 7 is Nina D. Pierto. I think she's an incumbent too. I know that name. Kathleen McCarthy, group 8. I think she's an incumbent too because that name sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm.
John M. B. H. Hurley is group 12.
Yeah, Judge Hurley does bond court. Yeah. Okay. He's been there a while too.
Group 12. Betsy Benson is group 13. Kim Teresa Malika is group 14. Mindy F. Solomon is group 15. Tabitha Elise Blackman is group 17. Kenneth Allen Gottlieb is group 20. Deborah Carpenter Toy, group 21. Marty Ann Levy Cohen, group 26.
No, I go.
Oh, but she has someone running against her.
Who?
And the person who's running against her is Kasia Monica Early.
Okay.
Group 26. Group 28 is Giuseppina Miranda or Giuseppina or Giuseppina. Is Giuseppina Miranda. She's running for group 28. Those are your judges. School board, District 1. You have Marie Murray Martin, who is so District 1 used to be Anne Murray's. Well, it is Anne Murray's seat. Her daughter, Yep, her daughter Marie Murray Martin is running. Veronica Niemeyer is running. Rodney Gabriel Velez is running. We had Rod on our show.
Yeah.
Paul Wiggins is running for District 1. District 4, Gustavo Aldolfo Alban. And
is running against Alherdef?
He's running against Lori Alhadeff. Hasn't put any money and is just sitting there. So I'm not sure if he's just a placeholder. District 5. This is the seat that has been vacated by Dr. Roslyn Osgood. You have Antonio Laverne Burgess, Ruth Carter Lynch, Jeff Holness, Gloria Ann Lewis, and Jimmy Witherspoon. You have District 6 School Board, John Christopher Cantor, Brenda Pham, and John Moreno Escobar. You have District 7, Nora Rubert. She is running unopposed. Somebody should think about that in District 7. And District 8, which is the at-large seat, you have Raymond Adderley. We had him on our show, the third. Donna.
We'll bring him back again.
Yep. Donna Corn, who is the incumbent. John, he removed himself on here, so he's been withdrawn. Alan Rigdil Zeman. And those are the people who are running county in Broward County. Like I said, we have other people who are running in cities, and we'll come back next week with those people and those names and how you can reach to them, and we'll try to get them to come on the show. But in the meantime, in between time, you can get that same information that I just went through on Broward, SOE.org, Broward, SOE.org. And you can go to the side. There's a side menu that you go down and you can see the elections and candidates. And then you can look that information up. Sometimes their information, if you click on it, it'll route you to their website and you can learn a little bit more about these candidates. All right. So my final word is, before we go, we're still in a pandemic, people. And, people walking around here like they're not in a pandemic. I know the numbers are low, and I'm praying that they continue to stay low, but I'm also asking that you continue to be, care for your neighbors, wear your mask when you can, get your vaccinations if you so choose to, but really seriously consider it. And continue washing your hands. Hand sanitizers are your friends. Soap and water, your friends, honey.
Yes. So distancing is still a good thing.
Wonderful, because
they're talking about that BA2 Omicron variant. Is like most the cases that are here. That's the variant that people have, and I believe Debbie Wasserman Schultz just came out and said she tested positive for COVID. I think that's what I heard right before we came on. So
okay, we'll double check.
I can double check that before we sign off, but I believe
we're
did.
Still in the pandemic, people. All I'm saying is just still continue to try to demonstrate and be careful. Show just be careful.
Yeah, she did. She tested positive for COVID-19.
So COVID is still out there.
It's still out there.
With his nasty behind, he's still out there. So just be cognizant of that. Be nice to each other. Observe personal space and boundaries. Because personal space and boundaries is my pet peeve. You can't be right up on my back and breathing down my neck. I can't do it. Can't do it. If we're in the line, give me like 5 feet. That's my final word. Be careful. Be thinking. Kids are taking FSAs this week.
Yeah, my daughter had her writing today, and my son has his tomorrow.
Yeah, my daughter had her writing today too. You guys watch over your kids, pray over your babies, help them through this kind of tough time. This is the test. This is the first time they've taken the test since the pandemic. They're back into school. They're trying to get into a rhythm and a routine. So if they show a little bit of anxiety,
my kids went on campus last year. They went to school last year and took theirs.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. My daughter went to school and took
hers.
Oh,
that's when they were giving them the option to do it.
They gave them the option of they can take it or not. But she did go to school at the end of last year to take hers.
Cool. Yeah. Some of them, majority didn't go, and because now they're back into their groove. Show some of those babies some grace. Okay, give them maybe some grace. It's tough trying to get back into that routine. Show them maybe some grace. All right. And I think FSA continues on until like close to the end of May or the middle of May. So encourage the kids, help them as much as you can, and then be there for them, and do what we gotta do. That's what parents do. We in there. All right, co-host, what you got to sign off on?
Well, what am I going to sign off on? We talked. I think I talked about all the things I want to talk about. Participate in this process. We got a governor race that's happening. Pay attention. I mean, the ultimate goal is to make sure that the current governor doesn't get reelected. So figure out who you want to support them when the primaries come, and then whatever Democrat is left standing, when that is over, we all need to just go ahead and unite and get that person elected.
That's right, and that's where it is.
Whoever, if it's your person or not, I need y'all to. I'm gonna need everybody to fall in line in August and after the primaries and take that person into November.
Period.
For us to be rid ourselves of this governor who seems to be campaigning for his next job that he ain't gonna get, but okay.
He does not have every single Floridian's best interest
support. I mean, he barely won the last time, and I don't think he's becoming more popular. So he's absolutely beatable. Even though he got a whole bunch of money, he's still beatable because he barely won the last time against somebody who was like testing in 6th place.
And the money he's gotten
for some ballot design and some shenanigans, that person might have won. So
well, I'm just saying the money that he's getting is not money all across the state.
It's a few people.
It's coming from one little area, from a couple of little areas, and a couple of
businesses. And businesses who is supporting what he's doing because they're profiting from what he's doing.
A couple of areas doesn't win elections. All right, it's the collective that wins the election. The collective wins the election. The collective's voting power is their superpower. So the power is with the people, not the people in power. I keep saying all the time. So that the few little people had dropping their coins over there to him, and them businesses dropping coins, does not speak for the masses. Okay. Nope. As a collective, he don't need to keep his job. He basically got his job by default, in my opinion.
And he's not doing a good job, but he focused on the wrong thing. He out there trying to be a legislator instead of governing and all that. So,
and we have real issues. This
record is a problem.
This rent inflation is a problem. Okay. People who are paying certain amount of rent now, they 4 or 5, sometimes 6 times the amount of rent they were paying before. That's the problem. Why are we not focusing on that? But you over here focusing on Disney, who gives zero, cares nothing about.
Like, if he, you don't really want no Disney smoke. I think someone posted something, and I hate that but I guess that's how they're writing articles these days, is that they're referring to Twitter in Instagram posts. So I'm gonna have to refer to some post that I saw online where they said that he lost by like 32,000 votes, but Disney employs like 77,000 people. So like with those margins, it's like, bro, Disney by itself you can lose your election just by people working for Disney. Vote the American citizens.
And to be clear, that specific post said 77,000 Floridians, right? 77,000 Floridians.
Oh, so yeah, it's probably more people than that working for Disney. So
there's way more people. There's way more people that works for Disney. So you wanna pick a fight with Disney?
With Disney, you want Disney smoke, bruh?
Really, that's what you want?
I don't know why he thinks he wants Disney smoke
over Disney supporting LGBTQ people, like their group, their families, and all that other stuff. You want to go toe to toe with Disney? Okay, sir. Okay. But forget the fact that we got real problems in Florida.
Yeah, we got real problems.
We have issues, right? School districts don't have no money, huh? Where is the lotto money, sir? Where the lotto money at?
Where it at? Where is it?
We have real issues. We have structural issues. We have structural building issues. We have bridges problems. But you focusing on Disney? That's where your focus is at. That's what we doing.
Everything is nothing but a distraction.
Listen,
because he can't really. He doesn't have the capacity to do the real work. So he just deal with distractions because he can't do the real work.
It's almost like they elected an entertainer to be a governor, because that's what's going on. You out here entertaining, but I'm about to say a bad word. You out here entertaining foolery, and we got real problems here in Florida.
Yeah, He making up stuff it ain't even like he's entertaining something that's existing, right? He's creating these narratives to deal with. Like, you know how it's like, it's not like it was a situation that was going on that required his attention and he's dealing with it. No, he making up the stuff that he's dealing with. Dude. He came up with woke legislation. He's the one that's doing protest bill. He the one that wants a election police department. This is all of his own making.
The level of ludicrousy, the level of lunacy, and we have real issues.
Yeah, but he's manufactured all the stuff he's talking about right now.
We have medical insurance issues. We have the elderly issues. We have so many issues that he can
be dealing with in real life.
We need some relief up in here, but you constantly putting Florida in the news with your foolery
on stuff you done made up,
sir. Whew. All right, people. Listen, we're exhausted, and I'm just saying, come August, we need to make sure he understands that he's not fulfilled his commitment and his swore what he swore to the people of Florida. He needs to understand he does not get to keep his job. All right. And we're going to try to find somebody else who's going to come in and get that done. And if that person don't do their job, they don't get to keep it either.
They don't get to get reelected. Yep. I'm all for that too.
Goodbye. All right, y'all. So we'll see you all next week. Blessings and power and love and all that. All right.
All that.
See y'all.